Welcome to our first Lunch and Learn on some of the cultures that we have in our community. Now, if you don't, if you want to eat your lunch or, don't be shy, just go ahead and eat. You don't have to black out your screen because this is a Lunch and Learn. And let me see, we were looking for a chat in case you wanted to ask questions, but we don't seem to have it on this particular Zoom. So you can, afterwards, we can have you ask some questions. But the importance of this is to learn about the different cultures and the different people in our community so that when you run across your neighbors or you're working as a Canton, employee with some of our residents, you'll understand some of the traditions that you see and understand some of the holidays that you see. So why don't we start with Summer in terms of talking about Summer? You might know her. She's at a lot of the leisure services events, as is Tachkirian Singh, who's also known as Sunny. They're both at a lot of the leisure services events. You see them around the community. You see them. Summer is also on our cultural commission, so she's been in a lot of programs that way. So you know Summer that way. But why don't we start with Arab National Heritage Month? And if you can talk about that, Summer, that'd be great.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Anne-Marie. I'm going to say marhaba, assalamu alaikum, which both means hello and blessing be upon you. And thank you, Madam Supervisor, for inviting me to speak on National Arab American Heritage Month. And thank you for proclaiming April as Arab Heritage Month in Canton a couple of weeks, I guess on the 13th. We appreciate it all. April is a time for celebration and celebrating the history, contribution, and the culture of the diverse population of Arab Americans, especially here in Michigan. Beginning the early 1990s, Arab American heritage was celebrated in various states in different times of the year and mainly in schools. It wasn't until 2017 when Arab Americans began a national initiative to coordinate all states under a National Arab American Heritage Month. On April 30th, 2019, Arab American organizations asked Congresswoman Debbie Dingles to issue a congressional resolution proclaiming National Arab Heritage Month. And we got one from Canton in 2017. And we are so honored. Arab Americans' history in the United States is rooted in our love for freedom, equality, as well as access to opportunities and help our neighbors thrive. And we see this every day here in Canton and in Michigan. From the agricultural sector to medicine and beyond, we have been here at the forefront of building our country without losing our rich culture. So National Arab American Heritage Month is extremely meaningful to us. It recognizes the contribution of more than 3.7, and that's according to the 2010 census. We don't have the 2020 census yet, so it might be a little bit more. Our community in the United States, especially in medicine, law, business, technology, government, and culture, and many, many other sectors. And they have continued to be an invaluable part of the mosaic and tapestry of American life. Now, I do have a presentation, but it's a long presentation. It's on a website called Arab America. And Arab America is a digital media. Started here in Michigan, moved to Washington, D.C. And the founders of the Arab America just recently, they're the ones who proclaimed, lobbied to proclaim April as Arab Heritage Month. And they started a foundation. So they have, I don't have the chat, I can put the link for you. But if you want to go through it, Arab America, I could share my screen if you like me to.
You could send the link to me also, and I can send it out to everyone.
It's called arabamerica.com. It's the website, and they have a lot of information on it. And when we're talking about it, there's a lot of things. It talks about understanding Arab Americans. It talks about the culture. And there's a lot of things that I feel that you could, if you want to do it on your own, it's a long presentation, but it has a lot of information. They're talking about who are the Arab Americans. They come from 22 Arab American countries in North Africa and West Asia, and they're very diverse in the faith, race, and dialect. I happen to be an Arab American from Palestine. A lot of people ask me how come I do certain things, and my background maybe is different than many. I went to an American school. It was a French Quaker school in my hometown of Ramallah, Palestine. And, English and Arabic were introduced at the same time. So I was exposed to the American culture before moving to the United States in 1982. So I'm an immigrant. I lived, my husband was working for IBM. So we lived in upstate New York for a couple of years, Austin, Texas for 19 years. And I owe Austin, Texas a lot. Like I feel it was like, that was my 20s and 30s where I learned a lot. And then we moved to Connecticut for 10 years. And Canton has been my home for the last 8 years. And I was honored to meet a lot of people in the township and got to be involved in many organizations. And I was very pleased to join the commission, Cultural Commission, and get to see what Canton is, all about. And this is how you get to know your community, by involvement, by participation. And I'm honored that I did that. Another thing maybe about the culture that a lot of people are confused about is religion. Like I told you, I'm Arab American from Palestine, and like the same with my religion, when I identify myself, happen to be Christian. And this week is our Holy Week, Orthodox Christian, Antiochian Orthodox Christian. My church is St. Mary's in Livonia. I don't know if anybody is familiar with it. And of course, the religion brings a lot of different traditions and culture to each family or each home. But of course, faith, family, and community are essential, are the very essential components in the Arab culture. Now, when we talk about the Arab countries, mainly in North Africa, you have 22 Africa, you have in the Levant, you have the Gulf region. So in Michigan, we have a lot of diversity in our community. But citizens of Arab countries are identified as Arabs, and we all speak Arabic. And but not everyone who lives in the Arab world sees themselves as Arab. So sometimes say, it depends. And not all Arabs are Muslims, and not all Muslims are Arabs. And the Middle East includes the Arab world in addition to other countries. So I could say I'm not, because the Middle East also have other countries, like you could say Turkey, Iran, they're not Arab countries, but they're considered part of the Middle East. So when somebody asks me where I'm from, I avoid saying from the Middle East. I say I'm an Arab American. So at least if somebody has an idea about the Arab countries, they know it. And most of the Arabs are united by common language, but we have different dialects. You could, I guess, if you meet an Arab and you try to, it's very difficult to understand their dialect, but because I guess now with the internet and television, we're more exposed to different dialects from all around the Arab world, so we could communicate better. We share identity of Arab history and very, very similar customs. Again, this is like, I'm sorry, I'm going through my presentation. As I told you, the Middle East refers to the region of the world that is linked with shared location and common language. Therefore, Arab Americans should be referred as Arab Americans, not as Middle Eastern. Now, we go to Islam and the Arab world. Now, Muslims and Arabs are two different classifications of people. In fact, the top 10 countries with the largest Muslim population, only 3 are Arab, like Egypt and Morocco and Algeria. I'm trying to hold on, guys.
Actually, Summer, did you want to share your presentation?
If you want me, I have it. If you want me to, or I don't know if you want me to share my screen, or just like
sure,
I could send you the link, whatever you like.
You can share your screen.
It's a long presentation, but if you have any questions you want to ask me, I'm more than welcome. We talk about like the religion, and I'm going to go over like also it's this month is the holy month of Ramadan, and a lot of our Muslims brothers and sisters are celebrating, are fasting this month until the 13th of May, and then they have 3 days of celebrating the Eid. So this is again another with the dominant themes across the Arab world is faith, family, and community. So faith brings us together. It's important lives, regardless of the religion. And it's very important. And family also, we could see us always congregating our family and doing things with family, and the community. Very involved in the community and diversity. We're gonna, with the Arab population around the country and even around the world, it's very diverse. Again, with terms of people, history, dialect, and local customs. However, this is very important to know we share the same language, values, and some extent of a culture. And Marie, if you want me to send it to you, it's a long one, but if I feel like how many minutes I have, I didn't ask you, you said I could go over other things, or I could, because it talks about immigration, that we have 4 waves of immigrants, Arab American immigration to the country, that presentation, and I will be more than happy if you share, I share the link with you. And if you have any questions, I will be more than welcome. If anybody wants to send me questions, I will answer. But with Michigan being the largest Arab American population, and I will invite you to get to know more about our community here in Canton and Michigan. I guess food brings us together. A lot of people now are interested in the Mediterranean cuisine, and in Canton we have some of the best restaurants and takeout foods nowadays. We could say takeout. Also, Dearborn is very close. Dearborn has the National American Heritage National Museum, the first Arab American museum in the country. And it has a lot of information about the history of immigration and the history of Arab Americans. And it will be, I know it's closed now, but they do have a virtual tour, and the museum is accessible but it has, you could visit it. They have a lot of exhibits and a lot of information to learn more about Arab Americans. Also, Access is an organization in Michigan that is very involved in the community, and they're in Dearborn too. Let me see what else here I could talk about. Unless somebody has a question, I'll go over it. Anybody has a question?
Well, what would you do? So what would you think is important for our people, the employees of Canton, to know about the Arab Americans in Canton?
Mainly, I didn't talk much about religion, diversity, it's just sensitivity to our diversity. Knowing when now a lot of us, at least COVID year, helped us know our neighbors. Maybe we don't know our neighbors, get to know our neighbors. And if we know our neighbors, ask them questions, learn about them, learn about the religion, about the culture and heritage and their background. And it'll be very interesting, to learn more about them. One thing I could say is know when people celebrate special holidays, certain ways they celebrate their holidays. Like I know a lot of you know about Ramadan and fasting 30 days during Ramadan, to be sensitive about it, because I know a lot of people, food, we talk about it, but it just be sensitive when somebody's fasting, if you don't want to eat around them, or just ask them if it's okay to eat. And a lot of them are okay with it. It's just the sensitivity of how to, learn from others what's appropriate and what's not. And with what else I was, again, it talks about the hijab, for example. Know more what the hijab is and learn from people about certain things. It's just, oh my gosh, I have to go for it. Now I don't want to say something that is just like, it's all, let me find this one for you. Because with, one thing I would like to advise is, when you meet somebody, just ask them. Like, there's a lot of Muslims who don't like to shake hands. You could put your hand on your chest. You could just, bow your head, because that's another thing that is tradition and things that we should respect when we meet somebody from a different religion or different culture. Also with Islam, I don't know if you know the sects of Islam. There's the Sunnis and Shiite Muslims. In Michigan, we have a lot of Shiite Muslims. And of course, each with the different sect of religion, they might have different traditions and ways of doing things, and that's also good to learn. But that presentation, if I share it with you, it's very informative about certain things, and it helps you understand community, especially our community, better. And again, as I told you before, I'm a Christian Arab, and I still consider myself an Arab. And there's this stigma where right away they ask you, you cannot be Christian and Arab. And I say, yes, where was Jesus born? Jesus was born in Jerusalem. He was raised, Bethlehem. And the resurrection like this week in Jerusalem. So I'm one of the kind of living stones and one of the first Christians in the world. Christianity started in the Holy Land. The Holy Land is like, when I look at my DNA, is that where I am. But with the 22 Arab countries and the diversity of, as I told you, certain things, it's very important to get to know it. And it's the same like the United States. And remember when I moved to Texas, Texas has its own culture. And it took me some time to kind of adapt to the Texan culture. Now when I moved to Michigan, it's a different culture than Texas. So it's just every state has its own culture and way of doing things. And then the same thing with every Arab country has its own way, and it has its, diversity in dialect and in the way they, culture and tradition. But the heritage is almost the same. And Marie, did I answer your question, or you want me to know more?
No. Is there a certain is there a certain culture they need to understand maybe when they go into somebody's house? I mean, like, our building department does, and our police do. Is there something that they should understand?
Ask. There's nothing wrong in asking. It just nowadays we all put masks, and right away when somebody comes to my door, I put the mask. So if sometimes you ask, is it okay to come in? Sometimes if a lot of times if somebody's home by themselves, they don't like somebody to come in unless there's somebody else with you. But it's always good to ask. There's nothing wrong with asking before you enter a house. And if you enter a house, a lot of people take their shoes anyways, and just be respectful. And I keep telling, even when I have people, I say, if you don't like the food, you don't have to eat it. I won't be offended. If you don't know something, ask. I'll be more than happy to assist or explain it to you. And there's nothing wrong with asking people for assistance. For understanding something. Like now with a lot of things, we don't know much about each other, but the internet made it easier. But nowadays, before, we learned from each other. Like I remember when I first moved to the United States, I would ask because I didn't know a lot about other things. So it is, I guess, learning from each other.
Oh, that's a good. Does anyone else have any other questions?
I hope I answered, but that presentation is long, but I'll share it with you, and I think it will be very beneficial.
Thank you.
So
Hey, John.
Hey, what are, you mentioned Christianity and Muslim, what are some of the other common religions, I guess, within Arab Americans? And then kind of to follow up with that, are there locations here in our community that most worship at? Sometimes there's like a common or, 2 or 3 different places that are the most common places of worship. Is that?
Marthy, thank you, John. Marthy, the Arab world only has 2 religions. The Arab world, 2 religions, but I'll go back. You have Christianity and Islam. And with each religion, with every religion, you have sects. Like the sects, I happen to be Orthodox. You have a lot of Catholics, you have Maronites, you have different, Christian sects. With Islam, also you have sects, but the prominent, and I see Noor, maybe Noor could help me talk about Islam here. Hello, Noor. So with Islam, you have a lot of sects, but the prominent ones are Shiites and Sunni Muslims. And with Christianity, we celebrate now because Easter is a month apart. So I follow the Eastern Rite, and some churches, like the Catholic churches, follow the Eastern Rite and Western Rite. And that goes back to the schism that happened in 300 something in the Catholic Church when Rome kind of split away from the other patriarchies. But that's a history lesson. But in Michigan, you have a lot of Lebanese who are Maronite Christians. You have a lot of Syrians and Palestinians and Jordanians who are Orthodox Christians. You have also the Syrians in their the early immigrants were assimilated mainly, and a lot of them became Catholics or joined whatever church is close by. With now, because of the new immigrants, let's say 70s, 80s, and 90s, they still had connections to the homeland, so they kept traditions, and then you had a lot of churches open, and still they were able to sustain the traditions and the culture and from home, and their churches are very, very similar to the churches in their homeland. So you have, I don't know, when you talked about also, there were Jewish Arabs in many Arab countries. Some of them decided to move to Israel. Some stayed in the Arab countries. Some Arab countries still have a Jewish population. So it's let's say, three monotheistic religions in the Arab world: Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. I hope I answered your. But I would love Noor to talk about. Noor, it's Ramadan. If you like to talk from your own perspective, please. Is that okay, Anne Marie?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, sure. So hi everyone.
I know.
So this month is the holy month of Ramadan. We fast for 30 months, and it's 30 days. I mean, sorry. It's fine if someone drinks or eats around me. It's not like the smell kinds of triggers things to get hungry. But other than that, it's perfectly fine. Everyone here in the engineering department is very sweet. So they kind of comprehend, understand. They ask a lot of questions, which I really appreciate. It's something new. A lot of people, I don't know a lot of things about Christianity and other religions, and I ask. It's nice to know. We won't get offended. It's fine if you don't know things. Feel free to come ask us. We won't eat you. I won't eat you personally. Just come by, swing by, and ask. And we fast for 30 days. And on May 13th, like Samar just mentioned, we have Eid, which we celebrate for 3 days. And to answer your question, John, we, like how Christians go to the church, we go to the mosque. There's some mosques in Canton. There's one called the Bilal, Masjid Bilal here. And there's one of the biggest mosques in America. It's in Dearborn. It's called the Islamic Center in America. That's where usually we do our prayers in Eid. That's where we go. Now, due to COVID, there's some restrictions. Families are not all joining together. We're just like privacies and as well as COVID restrictions just to be safe and to keep everyone safe. And yeah, Samar touched a lot about the Arab American heritage, which was very helpful as well.
Noor, I have a question for you because again, a lot of question about the hijab. Do you like to explain in your own point of view about the hijab?
Yeah, sure. So the hijab is the headscarf. Just to clarify, it's not mandatory. A female has the option. She chooses when to wear it and when to wear it. Parents don't force their girls to wear it at a certain age. We're not that religion that's, oh, you hit puberty. So it's usually when a female hits puberty, she's all grown up. She should cover her head or like wear long sleeves and stuff. But not everyone does that. You'll find a lot of Muslims not wearing the headscarf. Let's not go far. My sister doesn't wear it and she's older than me. So it just depends on how religious you are. And if you're 100% like, you know that this is what you want to do, you just wear it and just continue your religion. You'll see a little bit like as a hijabi, you'll find the looks and like people looking at you because of the stereotype that a group just did, like a stereotype, and everyone thinks that, oh, they belong to that group. This is not correct. It's a very nice religion. We have a lot of freedom. And whenever you guys have questions, just feel free to pass by and ask me or email me, whatever is comfortable.
Noor, appreciate that.
Thank
So you have a different perspective, like with any community, you have people with different the way you talk about it. Like, Noor, do you shake hands or do you put your hand on your chest?
Now, if someone shakes his hand, I'm just going to shake it. I'm not just going to because a lot of people don't know. But if they don't shake it, it's perfectly fine too. I don't mind that. Yeah. But it's usually I put my hand on my chest. It's like, but it's fine. Someone shakes their hand, I'll shake your hand.
Shake your hands. Okay. And we talked about Ramadan, but with food sensitivity, again, we talk about kosher food or food that is halal. And we have a lot of restaurants in Canton or in, Wayne County, there's a halal meat. And I guess, Noor, do you want to talk about that too? Or, you can explain it better? Because with me, when people ask me, they come to my house, if I have a Muslim invited to my house, which I have a lot, I will say, not during COVID, supervisor, I'm following direction. So it's just like you kind of your menu will be considerate. Like they don't pork, you don't have pork. If they don't drink, you don't drink. Or you will ask them, is it okay if we have a drink? Or if it's and you try to avoid certain things if you have somebody from a different religion. Or it's just kind of respect. So it's just we have a lot of the halal meat in town, and Wayne County is the best meat and the food is the best. And I know a lot of you have tried the Middle Eastern food. And it just, this is, again, it's like kosher, where there's certain restriction of what you can eat and what you can't eat. And that's, we should be kind of aware of it and respectful. Like you, sometimes, I don't know, when you have now, hopefully you will go back to, we'll go back to the norm, and you'll have a buffet. And if you have kind of employees who are Muslims or even Jews, you have to, or Sikh, or who are vegetarians, you will have to have something for them that they could, you know, be able to eat. So sharing bread, like, be respectful about what people eat, and you know, just, that's all. Be respectful. Anybody else has a question?
I'm sure you might have some more in the email. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Samara and Noor.
You're
Thank
welcome,
you very
my dear. I
much.
hope I helped. I don't know. I just wanted to talk. There's so much to talk about the Arab American, but there's a lot of websites that I could share with you. But Arab America is one of the best, and they had a lot of things. And if you want to learn Arabic, there's like, I have the word of the day. They have recipes, and now with TikTok, you cannot, like, I'm using TikTok to get some recipes now because they were the best. You know, especially when it comes from you know, my generation. I'm learning from my generation, because my mom had different recipes, and now, you know, ladies like me have you know, different touches to it. And even the young generation is doing a great job with food and some of the traditions and cultures, and even I love the ones that make fun of their moms, and I send them to my kids just to see if I was like that or not. So I'm learning a lot from TikTok on my culture. But it's anything you like to know, it's Arab America has the best information.
Oh, thank you very much.
You're welcome,
Thank
my
you.
dear. Thank you for
Really
having me.
appreciate it. Any other questions? Everybody's being shy and eating, maybe. We
But I
appreciate
know
it.
this month with our celebration, I know I want to thank Peg very much, and John and Greg, and I know, and everybody with Cultural Leisure Services, with Canton Leisure Services and the Cultural Commission. I'm honored to work with you all, and I've been this year. I wish, and thank you for allowing me to serve another year, because 2020 was canceled. But I wish you know, we were open and could do more things together. But I appreciate you all, and Peg, all your help, all this. Thank you, my dear.
Thank you. No, it will be. Thank you very much. Good idea.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Our next guest is, many of you know him as Sunny. Sunny is one of the principals at the Gurdwara here on Canton Center Road. There's also another Gurdwara over, a newer Gurdwara on Michigan Avenue, and of course a larger Gurdwara over on in Plymouth. It's called Plymouth Falls. And Sunny, if they welcome, and thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting, and thanks, Summer. Thanks, Noor, for awesome job for explaining. I wish I could be a little close, like 1% will be great for me. So Sikhism, let me talk about Sikhism, and then I will come back to Vaisakhi, which is the month April. And I sent a file, Anne Marie, if you, when I later might be, I can, if you can share, or I can share, whatever.
Sure.
Not the host can share. So Sikhism is the 5th largest religion. It's with approximately 27 million Sikhs all around the world. In North America, give and take, we are around 1.2 million, 500,000 in United States, and approximately 800,000 Canada. I mean, if you look at the Sikh, not all of them, as Noor was saying, some will take their own way, some will follow by the book. So we have to keep uncut hair. And the whole purpose of me wearing a turban is uncut hair. I do not trim my beard. Basically, the concept is to keep the identity of the God, how he created you, accept what he gave. That's coming from our 10th prophet who told us to maintain the identity of the God, uncut hair, and anything. And you just, I can tie it, I can do turban professionally, keep my hair, but again, and covering your head in Sikhism, at least, I don't know about Islam, the whole purpose is a respect. So anytime we had to show respect to our elder people, even, we cover our head. So this way, we always think Almighty is with us. Kind of, it's a way we show we are always respectful to him. One way to think that way too. I was saying, in our saying how we wish each other, or when you come to Gurdwara, Anne Marie knows she has visited it a lot of times, or other people who visited it. Uh, Anytime we start a congregation or we talk among wish each other, we'll say Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Waheguru Ji, we address the Almighty. So in Sikhism, if I say Almighty, I will say Waheguru, oh my Lord. So Waheguru, that's how we say. Ji is respect, the second word. Anytime we have respect, even for my mother, I will use Ji, father, Ji, older brothers. Ji is respect in my language. Ka means belongs. Khalsa means purely. So when I'm saying it to somebody, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, basically I'm saying you purely belong to one Almighty, the one Creator. Vaheguru Ji, again, two words, respect to the Almighty. Ki means what are you going to get out of it? Fateh means blessed. So you're going to be blessed. So it's like assurance that when we say to somebody, we're saying you purely belong to the one Creator, one Almighty, and you will always be blessed. So that's the meaning of it. So next time when if you visit it or you are on the podium at Gurdwara, which we call is like a church or mosque or a temple, we call it Gurdwara, means the gate to meet the Guru, the Prophet, which is our holy book. So that's number one thing. Three reasons why we celebrate this month, and it's becoming Heritage Month in a lot of states already. The number one is the birthday of our founder. So Sikhism was founded on 14th of April, 1469, when our first prophet, Shri Guru Nanak Sahib Ji was born. That's how we consider the beginning of the Sikhism. That's the date we consider. So we celebrate because to celebrate the birthday of our founder, Guru Sahib, the prophet, Guru Nanak Sahib Ji. The baptism also took place on the same date by the 10th prophet, Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji. So we have 10 prophets, starting number one from Guru Nanak, and then on 200, I think total 239 years total, they stayed in their human body. And then the 10th prophet, when he did the baptism ceremony on 14th of April, 1699, he said, from now on, no human body will be a prophet. So he did all the compilation from the prophets and from at that time, the people who were talking about one God, the saints, how you can call, compiled it in the form of a holy book we call Guru Granth Sahib. And that's what we consider as our living Guru. Reason being, we read it and we get our answers. So it tells us, we feel when we are reading it, it's my first prophet talking to me, or so it's all demarked that way. So when you read it, it will say who said these words, which prophet said it. So we feel when we are reading it, okay, this is the sayings of our first prophet, third prophet, fourth, same way. So that's our living Guru right now, we call Holy Book. And the third reason for celebration is it's a harvest time in India. So 6 are from North India. That's where origin is from, birthplace of our first prophet is from north of India. And that's the major place where Sikhism started, or we come from there. Part of India, 99.9% we are all Indians, basically, and migrated to United States, Canada. And so April is the month of harvest. All these seeds are sowed in winter, December months. A lot of hard work goes in, and comes the harvest, fruit. You get the fruit of your hard work, and then celebration happens. A lot of dancing, a lot of celebrations, a lot of ceremonies happen during this month in India, especially, and now over here also. You might in Yuba City, California, Lansing also, the 6th or do organize a function on 14th or 18th or 19th, whatever the weekend would be. So that's a high level. The baptism in Sikhism is for both women and men. They are equal. There's no discrimination between the two, as every religion, I think every prophet said it the same way. So our Pope, in my Christian language, Pope could be a woman. And you know what, fortunately right now, our Pope is a woman. presently. And there has been a woman 10 years before for 10 years term. The baptism is exact same. We men and women get baptized exact same way. Men are given a last name of Singh, and the female get the last name of Kaur, K-A-U-R. So basically to tell that a man, and I don't want to offend any man, please, it's my religion, they don't own the woman by them taking the last name. So my mother, Kaur, my wife, Kaur, my daughter's Kaur, and my grandmothers, everybody, they were Kaurs always. And the men Singh. So I'm saying my son Singh, last name. So I will continue with the Singh, my name, but my wife doesn't take anything from me anyway, so that it makes me think, oh, that's my last name, you lost yours. So she kept her Kaur. Kaur means princess. So the 10th prophet said they are the princesses of Almighty. They gave birth to the kings. So they will always be the princess of Almighty. Anyways, that's the philosophy. He told us and we obeyed. After baptism, you for sure make a commitment. So it's not mandatory. Baptism in Sikhism is by choice. I got baptized, by the way, 2005. I was around 40 years. Can I tell my age? Yeah, who cares? But my parents were not, by the way, at that time. And they kind of looked at me. I used to have cut hair, if somebody saw me. I used to drink. I used to eat meat. But once you get baptized, you don't do any of those. So basically, uncut hair, you, again, identity of the Almighty, you keep it that way, preserve it. Some people say if you don't cut hair, but you cut your nail, very good question. Nobody cuts their nail. I mean, cutting a nail will be really painful. Trimming, right? So again, I use a kanga, which is a wooden comb. I put it always here for hygienic reasons. So when I comb it, the dead hair gets shut out. Same way I trim my nails, same way they come off. So the healthy ones stay, and I comb it a lot of times. Some people ask me in the neighborhood, can you expose your hair? Yes, heck, anytime. I wash my hair, I got to. So it's not like the covering is mandatory 24 hours, 7 days a week, and 365 till I live. Nothing like that. It's a respect or professionally taking care of your uncut hair. This is a khara. You will see majority or 100% Sikhs wearing it. It's supposed to be no joint in it. Signifies, identifies Almighty. So no starting point. Nobody knows when Almighty was created. He's the one who created everything. So one creator, very strong. It has to be solid, made of solid metal. So it tells his strength. He's very strong, and he doesn't have any starting point. Similarly, he doesn't have any ending point. So that's why Sikhs signify him wearing it all, that there's one Almighty, the creator created it, and he's always with us, and he's very strong. Then we wear kirpan, which normally is talked as a sword. I wish I had the pictures to show, but it's like a pledge. So if I had to sacrifice my life to save somebody, that's a pledge I have taken when I got baptized. It doesn't have to be Sikh, because then I'm very partial. I'm a very narrowly focused. Rather, it has to be somebody non-Sikh, so that I don't keep that partiality. I accept his creation as one, the creation of Almighty as all my family, the same way my family he gave me, which is small, but if he's my father, then everybody he created is my family. So I should be there for anybody, everybody, anytime, in any way, not just to fight, but if they need money, if they need any kind of support, any country which goes through bad, we have Sikh organizations. We shouldn't be talking about them, because then it brings pride in you. It's his blessings we share with the people, so it's nothing ours. We try to tend to help. It's called seva. It's part of one of the requirements of being baptized Sikh. And then we have no adultery is allowed. If I'm married, I have to be very honest, and same with my wife. So there's longer shorts that signifies high moral values. So those we call 5Ks. So you have to follow that. Honest living, and 10% you got to share not to show it. So 10% of my earnings, I have to use it for charities, reasonable. I got to know right place, but I should not be putting my name in there because then it's mine. It's not, I'm not doing something from what he blessed me. And without his blessing, I wasn't even able to share anything. If he gave me something and I'm sharing 10%, it's still his blessings. So we had to stay silent. You cannot show off. You cannot say, this is mine and I'm sharing and I'm helping you. That'll be really against Sikh teachings. Did I speak too much?
No, thank you. So Sunny,
yeah.
the baptism you talked about, so you did not start wearing your turban until you were baptized then?
No, that's not true. Okay. I did not. I was cheating myself in my religion. Bad guy. But it's peer pressure also. Funny story. So when I left India 89, my dad told me, I hear when you go over there, you're going to cut your hair and try to be part of the crowd. I said, Dad, no, you don't know me. I'm very strong. I'm going to stick with my principles. I did it though. I got job in Ford with the turban, no problems. Everything. Like I successful, consider myself successful.
Mhm.
But then one thing was I was getting into horse riding with my daughter, older daughter. She was really big time into it. And I used to wear baseball cap. With the turban, like the way I tied it, it wasn't good for horse riding. And whatever you can say, an excuse though. I started using that excuse. And then one was I start getting headache when I tie my turban. Again, lame excuses. Wanted to be part of crowd. You know what I mean? Simple, peer pressure. So I got my hair cut for 4 years. And I still, every time I thought myself, I'm a cheat. Like if somebody asked me, how can I look myself in a mirror and say, yeah, one day I'm going to go. And if at all he blesses me to talk to him, the opportunity might be very less, slim. What I'm going to say, the people over there kind of were my main priority. And I forgot about you and the principles. You made me sick for a reason. I could be Christian, his creation, right? I could be anybody. He could send me any family. It wasn't my choice. So if I'd accept his creation, if I'd accept there's a reason he sent me to be a Sikh, then what is going to be my answer? And I could never find that answer. Like I could try to be smart, cheat as I cheated my parents, but you know what? He knows it. He knows the heart. He knows where it's coming from. So I could never satisfy myself why I picked up this path when I promised my father before flying from India that no, I'm very strong and I will stick with 4 years. It took me 4 years, kind of a long time. Chiefs like me, they take longer time. You guys know that. But again, one night I could not sleep and I woke up in the morning and I told my parents, I said, listen, I'm going to be baptized. And they could not believe. Say, oh, really? And I'm telling you, like the night before I had shared a drink with my dad even. I said, okay, guys, Dad, Mom, done. No more booze. You guys, whosoever wants to drink. No compulsion to anybody, but this is my path now. So I'm going to go get baptized. And they loved it. And after that, yes. But turban, to answer you, sorry, I took longer. Anybody as a Sikh should be wearing turban because they don't cut their hair. But you will see in the middle school, up to middle school, you will see Sikh wearing smaller turbans, like they wrap around with their hair. But high school, man, it becomes really difficult for them. And Canton is where we have much more acceptance, but not at all the places. So normally you will see them getting the hair cut and becoming normal, I guess.
That's very interesting. No, now even like you talk about the feeding. I mean, if anyone's ever been to the Gurdwara, you'll see their kitchen and it's stacked with thousands and thousands of plates because the tradition is just to feed the poor.
Yes.
In India.
That has to be, right? I think it's not Sikh's responsibility. I think it's a responsibility of all the privileged to take care of the underprivileged, right? If they're our brothers, sisters, they are part of the same creator. They are a creation of the same great almighty, which is Mr. Perfect. Then we got to think out of the box. We got to take care of them, right? If he blessed us, I could be one of them. God knows, right? It's his will. I did not have a requisition and his approvals before coming to this earth. If he blessed me for whatever reason, kind of in a good mood, I should be very thankful. And I should make sure that probably he sent a expectation package with me, right? Guy, okay, let's see if you want to be part of me, how many good habits you learn. He's a giver, right? If we are not givers, we don't know how to share even 10%, how, we can be considered to join with him because we didn't learn his qualities. He is a lover. If we don't love each other, I mean, I don't think it's a joke. Somebody thinks, yeah, I'm going to join with them. Oh, wow, you're going to be east-west. How about, to be friends with anybody, we've got to have so many likings, right? So let's start, take step by step, see what he does, and try to do so that we have possibility, even a slim possibility of joining with him. So that's an endeavor in a human body as a Sikh, we are told.
Are there any customs that the employees of Canton should know about when going to a sick person's house or working with them in the township?
Pretty modern though, nothing that compels. I mean, again, as if you are asking me a question, I should also speak to you that I'm blessed that somebody came to my house, right? So again, I think someone said, we take our shoes off, but somebody doesn't, no offense. It's just like our habit, take our shoes by the door. And so the dust doesn't come in. I don't think it's any religious thing. It's just like, looks like we are very allergic to the dust. And once we get to America, our immunity goes down, although a lot of dust in India, tons of dust everywhere. But I think over here we get synthesized and we want hi-fi in the house. That's probably, I don't know, sometimes I don't take it seriously. It's cold, I tell my wife, you might have to clean it, sorry about that, but I'm walking with the shoes. So no big deal if you don't. Vegetarian, like I am pure vegetarian. My wife eats eggs, that's how far in my house, but again, no compulsion. If my daughter wants to eat meat, I did it all my life till I got baptized. But once you get baptized, if she picks up or anybody, my wife is not baptized, by the way. My mother and I too are. But again, till then she can eat, or she should not eat, but she does not eat. You know Amrit very well, so she does not eat meat or anything. But again, when you go to the Gurdwara, we request cover your head, please. Again, respect. There's no compulsion. It's just respect there. We take our shoes off in the Gurdwara. Same, like it's hygienic reasons because we normally sit on the floor. If you're wearing shoes, it will make it dirty, and we all be sitting in the dirt, so it's not good. I don't think so. There's anything else. You guys have visited John. A lot of people have visited. Laura, I think, came once only. I wish she could come more. After COVID, I'm going to invite you. But yes, nothing. I don't think so.
Does anyone have any questions? Don't be shy. You gave us a lot of information, Sunny. What about the Kirpan?
I confused it.
So
I did a good job of confusing everybody.
You did. Well, I don't know if any of you remember, but about 20 years ago, there was a sick youth that had brought a Kirpan in. And the school district was thinking of suspending him because of it, because they thought it looked like a weapon.
They did it. That's when we met first time.
Yes, that's when we met. We had some big community meetings on that. So do you want to talk about that Kirpan, so people understand what that is?
Yes, so the Kirpan is, again, it's not a offensive tool. It's just a pledge. It tells you that be brave to do good things. You should not be shy about and be very scared or afraid of doing any bad thing. So basically it stays with the body, kind of a reminder. So I mean, the kids, if anybody needs lunch, doesn't bring, you got to share. Don't just eat. As Noor was saying, I mean, people are courteous, right? If she's not eating, people should feel affection for her. But I mean, if somebody's underprivileged or they forgot it at home, then you have a pledge. When you're wearing your baptized Sikh, you can't eat till, like the Sikhs in the past used to feed all their food and they will sleep hungry. That's the history. Anybody can look. And when anybody needy came, they would just give, yep, that's a gift pack. So they are ceremonial. They are always wore under the shirt. I wear it always under the shirt. And with the school board, what we did, make agreement that we will seal it, that it never comes out even. So The bottom one, like if you see the bottom one from the left, second one from the left, is what the kids wear, and it's less than 4 inches, so it's very small. And we made arrangements when you wear it in around the second one on the top, you see that white thingy. So we seal it there that it will never come out. So it's like a pledge. Yeah, you wear. If you don't wear it, we had to skip something. We take like some, I don't know what you call, like Noor was saying Ramadan, so you fast. So some people will fast when they're not wearing it. Like when we fly, a lot of Sikhs, you will see they might just stay on the liquid diet because you have to in the plane, but they won't eat. So that's how we take some tenet, what you call, if we're not wearing it. And you won't believe, in North America, Canton Public School or Canton Plymouth Public Schools are the only schools which allowed it even. And help from people like Anne Marie and trying to understand it. Again, a lot of people from police department, Dale Walls, they were involved, and they all convinced. Like my 3 meetings, they were all convinced, and they allowed it. Unbelievable. You won't believe. I think all over North America, or even I can say in the world, where nobody is accepting it. Plymouth, Canton, God bless us that way, and it stays very calm. Wonderful community. God bless.
Here. That's very nice. John had just sent something. John, you want to say what you sent about the policy?
Yeah, just mentioning that Sunny was instrumental in helping us develop a policy here in leisure services that folks may or may not be aware of. And it's pertaining to youth and the possession of a kirpan in our classes and programs, which was very helpful and helps our staff be prepared and respectful and knowledgeable. And this helps broaden the horizons of our kids when we can share with other campers and other families. So Sunny, thank you for your help through the years, and you've been a great advocate and asset for us. We appreciate it.
Thank you, John. Always, I mean, the endeavors you guys put in to learn, that's amazing. I mean, it's really good. And this community is like wonderful. I can say A+ community we have because of people like you who really try to understand out of the way.
Well, that's great that the community feels safe here. We hope that continues. We hope that continues across the country.
Yes.
It's stronger. Does anyone have any other questions? No, but
Hi, this is Tanya. I just wanted to thank Tej Kiranji. I don't call him Sunny, I call him Tej Kiranji, and to help me write this article for our government-wise newsletter that we are doing every month about Vaisakhi, and I really appreciate his help, and he has been really a helpful member in the community as long as I have known him. And I really appreciate him coming out and talking to our township people about the religion and about its 5 tenets and about the celebration. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And Tanya, check is in the mail for complimenting me.
Oh no, boy. Any other questions? Boy, well, thank you very much.
One more thing.
Yeah.
Anne-Marie, you and Will, and my really heartfelt compliments, the way he has handled this COVID shots. Amazing. Such a super planned. He talks to the volunteers before, and with 10 minutes, he trains them as if they have been always working there. And he's like a machine. He works like a machine. 500 people get injections every day. And man, you should see it. He's in action. Like I wish I could make a video and learn from that if I need to organize something. So my really big comments to the police.
Yes.
Sunny, checks in the mail for you too.
My address. Don't send the wrong address. Normally my checks bounce, they go to the wrong. My neighbor gets it. So my wonderful job, and Will, really commendable job. And again, the police, Canton police, no match. You guys are awesome. You should wear some awesome stickers here.
Hey, but Sunny, I just want to say that none of that happens without all the other people who are working on that project as well. It doesn't happen with one person. It happens with the community and all the volunteers that stepped up including yourself and Summer, that have stepped up and helped both here and out back in the testing clinic as well, because none of that stuff happens without our volunteers. So thank you too.
And we
Yeah.
admire your leadership. Yes, great. That was great.
No, thank you very much. Well, I'd like to thank our guests for coming. You know, you guys, we learned a
Thank
lot.
you. Our
and-
pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
No, we really appreciate it. And we hope to have you back soon. And when COVID is over, you know, maybe we can meet outside and have a, you know, celebration together, you know, for an in-person lunch and learn.
We'll say in Arabic, inshallah, which means God willing. Yeah, we're going to do it. And thank you
right.
for being there. Stay
That's
safe and be healthy and happy, everybody, and enjoy us the nice weather today. No nice weather, but enjoy your week.
Thank you. You too, boy. Thank you. And thank you, Noor, also for helping.
Yes, thank you, Noor.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for all the information today.
Yes. Lots of info. Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.